This is 9 on your side at 5.
50 years ago at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Lee Harvey Oswald shot and killed President John F. Kennedy. You're looking live right now at the Kennedy family grave and eternal flame in Arlington National Cemetery, where people have been paying their respects all day long. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Ryan Peterson. Today was a day to honor President Kennedy on the 50th anniversary of his assassination in Dallas. Daniel Nottingham spent the day in the city as it celebrated the life and legacy of one of America's most iconic presidents.
John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
Thousands of people observed a moment of silence in Dealey Plaza at the site where President John F. Kennedy was killed 50 years ago. The city honored Kennedy and remembered its darkest day with a solemn ceremony.
This nation was founded by men of many nations and backgrounds.
Historian David McCullough recited lines from the president's famous speeches.
There is a permanent new monument here in Dealey Plaza near the infamous grassy knoll. The inscription on the plaque is the final paragraph of the speech President Kennedy was set to deliver, but never did.
There's no way.
Face the Nation's Bob Schieffer was a 26-year-old reporter at the Fort Worth Star-Telegram the day Kennedy was killed.
Nothing was ever quite the same as it was before this happened. It really kind of shattered our national confidence and caused us to ask questions about almost everything.
Schieffer says he is trying to keep an open mind to conspiracy theories about the assassination, but he believes all the evidence supports the official explanation that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone.
There are going to be questions about this 50 years from now. We're still asking questions about the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. We're still asking questions about the assassination of Julius Caesar.
Schieffer, like so many Americans who remember where they were and how they felt when Kennedy was killed, says 50 years ago seems like yesterday. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Dallas.
And locally, folks here were remembering JFK's visit to the East before he even became president. Our Katie Banks is live in the studio with us now with details. And Katie, Kennedy made a stop in Greenville 3 years before his assassination.
Yeah, and I talked with a historian today. He said it was actually the first time in the 20th century that a major presidential candidate had come here to Eastern North Carolina. So it was a big deal. It was September 17th, 1960. JFK, then a Massachusetts senator, came to East Carolina College, what we now call ECU. Now, the school's library preserves these pictures and home video of that historic visit. Kennedy flew into the Greenville airport, then made stops at the Farmer's Warehouse for a mock tobacco auction. From there, it was off to East Carolina, where he delivered a speech about the state's history and his support of the tobacco industry as he tried to rally support from the Southern crowd. ECU historian John Tucker says JFK's campaign stop meant people here responded to his assassination with heartfelt grief because they felt a personal connection to the politician.
He was part of this campus. He was part of our community. He had visited our place and become, in that brief moment, about 90 minutes that he was here in the East, he had become one of us.
Coming up at 6, hear from the man who talked privately with Kennedy that day and how their conversation ended up in JFK's speech. For now in the studio, Katie Banks, 9 on your side.
Looking forward to that. Katie, thanks so much. Time now to take a first look at your forecast. And for that, we're heading out to the field. David Sawyer joins us live from D.H. Conley, the site of a big Rapids Viking matchup tonight in high school football playoffs. David.
9 on your side. We couldn't mess around and miss this one, could we, Ryan? Yes, weather on the road tonight. We are live at D.H. Conley for the big game. Of course, Brian Bailey, Cliff Pyron having all the details coming up for this big game tonight. Playoff action tonight means it's another touchdown Friday, Eastern North Carolina. We're going to enjoy some pleasant temperatures. Here's a look at your forecast. We do have temperatures in and around the 50 and 60 degree mark for the tailgaters this evening, but as temperatures slowly fall, perhaps low 60s, maybe a few upper 50s for the playoff games tonight. Rain chances minimal. That's good news for high school playoff action. But as we spread the picture out and look at the temperatures, feeling good, upper 60s to low to mid 70s. But take a look at the satellite and radar composite. You'll see another cold front barreling our way. It's this low that's in the southwest. Storm Team 9, we have that circled for you on the left side of your television screen. Another cold front moving now through the Ohio and Mississippi River valleys. This cold air is what will impact our weekend. Coming up, we'll let you know just how cold it's going to be by Sunday. And that area out to the west in the desert southwest, Ryan, that's going to impact Thanksgiving travel day. I'll have more details on that too in your Weather on the Road Storm Team 9 forecast.
Excellent, David. Thanks so much. We'll see you shortly. It's there for you in an emergency situation, right? In everyday medical procedures. But what happens when your local hospital is losing money? It's a problem facing many hospitals across the country, including Lenore Memorial. Hospital administration being forced to make decisions that affect employees and patients. Not on your sides, Erica Anderson joins me now live in the newsroom with more on their plans to save money. Erica.
Ryan, last month, Lenore Memorial Hospital announced a more than $3 million deficit, which is forcing them to make changes to save money and try and stay open. Part of those changes, cutting back on staff. The hospital is eliminating a total of 85 positions, but all of those positions aren't actually layoffs. Hospital officials say only 15 people have been laid off. The other positions were either vacant, reassigned, or positions where people opted to take an early retirement package. In addition, the hospital is consolidating some of its hospital wings. Lenore Memorial Hospital Marketing Director Barbara LaRoque says it's a sign of the times.
We're seeing a lot of change in healthcare across the nation. It's not just in this area. And I think that all over, hospitals are going to have to look for different ways to provide care.
Coming up at 6, I'll tell you how these cuts will affect patient care. In the newsroom, Erica Anderson at 9 on your side.
Erica, thank you. The woman who falsely accused Duke lacrosse players of raping her will now serve prison time for murder. The jury found Crystal Mangum guilty of stabbing and killing her former boyfriend, Reginald Day. She'll spend between 14 and 18 years in prison. Mangum cried when she heard the verdict. A bailiff immediately handcuffed her and escorted her out of the courtroom. Greenville Police Chief Hassan Aden and Pitt County Sheriff Neil Elks joined forces to announce the conviction of a man who robbed several stores and shut down Charles Boulevard for several hours back in April. The jury found Linwood Duffy guilty of robbing a Wilco Hess, a Family Dollar store, and the Emerald City Business Sweepstakes, all back in April. Then in May, he struck again at the Dollar General in Chocowinity. A witness identified Duffy's license plate, and law enforcement was able to use that information to track him down. Raising money by selling old guns, the Onslow County Sheriff's Office is looking for buyers. They have 157 extra guns, including revolvers, shotguns, and handguns. County commissioners decided to let the Sheriff's Office sell the guns to the public. They say they're worth thousands, but they won't be up for sale until they establish a fair market price for the firearms. All the money raised in that gun sale will go directly to the Onslow County General Fund.
The main objective in my book is get the most from any property that belongs to the taxpayers that you can get to recover anything recovered to be for them, and try to get the best for the taxpayer.
Commissioners say the Sheriff's Office bought the guns years ago, but they're getting old and they've already been replaced. Brewing beer in the East. It's a thriving business. I ought to know. Last month I talked to several breweries here in the East, see and learn about what they do every day. Now some East Carolina culinary students are working with one of those breweries to produce a television show. Our Andrew Ruiz is at Mother Earth Brewery in Kinston with the story.
Ryan, it's been such an awesome experience. Not only are there production students working on the reality TV show, but we've got culinary students and also aspiring brewmasters all working on the same project. Battling Brewers is an exciting competition amongst 3 local home brewers. The goal is to see who can make the best beer in the limited amount of time. Teaming up with the brewers are 3 culinary students. Each must create a dish that best complements the beer the brewer has decided to make. The last element is the production. Students in ECU's Cinematic Arts and Media Production program are directing the show.
It's really good to be able to get hands-on and get out of the classroom, you know, because staring at a book is only fun but so long.
So we have chefs, brewers, judges coming together today on this finale to sort of ultimately see who has the best beer and food.
Now stay tuned, because coming up at 6, we'll take you behind the scenes of this reality show, and we'll also show you who won the Battle of the Brewers. In Kinston, Andrew Ruiz, 9 on your side.
Thank you, Andrew. Republicans continue their relentless attack on President Obama's health care law. The attack is so organized, Republicans even have an official playbook. What's inside that playbook and how it's helping the GOP fight back. Plus, Black Friday is a week away now, but one man's already waiting online. How much money he expects to save once the doors open next week.
feeling good in eastern North Carolina on this Friday night. I'm in short sleeves. How about that? You may need the jacket, though, before the night is through. Right now, as we take a look across eastern North Carolina, it's 68 degrees in Jacksonville. We'll be back with your weekend forecast as we're live in Winterville.